You wake up, look in the mirror and see a face. Then you look out the window and every person walking by has that same face. Your neighbor, the mailman, your own mother. Same eyes, same nose, same mouth. You can't tell anyone apart. You couldn't pick your own kid out of a classroom, and that's the least of your problems, because faces are load-bearing. We treat them like surface, like cosmetics. But they hold up almost everything about how we survive, how we connect, how we treat each other. Strip them away and the whole thing comes down. But not in the ways you'd expect. You'd think the hard part of this world is practical. How do you find your wife in a crowd when every face is her face? How does a nurse hand you the right newborn when every baby is the same baby? How do you prove you're you when the guard at the gate can't tell you from the guy who just walked in? You'd think that's the nightmare? It's not even close. Start with the science, because that ends fastest. Evolution runs on difference. Small changes in DNA that natural selection works on. No genetic variation, no evolution, as one biologist put it. If everyone is the same, survival stops being about adaptation and becomes pure luck. A coin flip instead of a race. You want a species that can adapt, you need difference. But difference is the one thing this world deletes. Which, honestly, is a clean way to end a species, and a population of copies is fragile. Nearly every banana you've ever eaten is a clone of one plant, the Cavendish. 99% of the bananas on the planet, one parent, copied over and over. That's the reason a single fungus called Panama disease could wipe out the world's supply of bananas, and why growers are terrified of it right now. You've been eating the same banana your whole life and never noticed. Congrats, I guess. A uniform human race is the same gamble. One virus, one shift in the climate, and there's no variation to save us. No one with a lucky resistance gene. No one with the mutation that shrugs off the plague. Everyone dies. We'd be a species with no spare parts. Your body would also be in the wrong place. Skin color and body type evolved to fit specific climates over thousands of years. Pale skin where there's little sun so you can still make vitamin D, dark skin where there's a lot so you don't burn to death. Wide noses for humid air, narrow noses for dry. Force one look onto everyone and half the planet is now living somewhere their body wasn't built for. Sunscreen becomes a medical device. Pills become survival, but the deep fit between body and place, the thing evolution spent 1 million years dialing in, that's gone. And that's the biology, which is somehow the easy part. Then comes the mental hit, and this is where it gets personal. Who are you if you're not your face? You built a chunk of your identity on how you look, the red-haired one, the tall one, the one with the nose. You've never had to say those words out loud, because your face said them for you. Erase all that, and people lose themselves. Identical twins already fight this exact fear. That sharing a face detracts from their identity, that they're somehow less of a person because someone else wears their face. And now it's not one twin, it's 8 billion people who all have your face. Your face stops being yours. It becomes public property. Enjoy being a type. And society rebuilds around what's left, and it's a strange rebuild. Fashion explodes because clothes become the only way to stand out. Your whole personality becomes a jacket. Art has to reinvent itself. A painter can't paint a portrait of a unique face when every face is the same. So they go abstract, or they paint the thing a face used to hide. Movies need voice and costume and camera work to tell the hero from the villain. Names, ID numbers, serial numbers on your wrist, those become the only way to know who anyone is. How do you trust a face you've seen on 1,000 strangers? And for a second, it looks like things get better. No racism based on skin color, no lookism. A hiring manager can't favor the taller candidate because everyone's the same height. Dating apps can't rank you by your jawline anymore. It looks like the level playing field we've been asking for since forever. It only took deleting every every face on earth to get there, but looks are the whole trick. Prejudice doesn't disappear, it relocates. In the 1970s, a psychologist named Henri Tajfel ran a simple experiment. He split people into groups based on meaningless criteria, which painting they preferred. That was it. No history, no conflict, no stakes. And within minutes, people were favoring their own group and snubbing the other, handing their own side more points because it was their side. They found a reason to hate each other over a painting. We're efficient like that. Give humans the flimsiest excuse, and we will build a hierarchy out of it. You don't even need a face to do it. Now imagine every face is the same. We don't become equal, we become obsessed with the tiny differences that are left. A few inches of height, the pitch of a voice, a scar, the way someone walks. We'd rank each other by those with the same cruelty we once saved for skin color. We'd invent new beauty standards for whatever variable we have left. The cruelty doesn't retire. It just finds new hobbies. The ranking instinct lives deeper than the face. You can't delete it by deleting the face. You can only move it somewhere new. And it gets darker than that. Faces aren't just for telling people apart. They're how we feel each other. There's a region in your brain, the fusiform face area, built for one job, reading faces. The doctor, Oliver Sacks, had face blindness himself, a real condition called prosopagnosia, and it hits about 2 in every 100 people. He wrote about standing in front of a mirror and not knowing his own reflection. Imagine losing to a mirror. And people with the condition describe something worse than confusion. They feel cut off, because when you can't read a face, you can't read the person. Identical faces wouldn't bring us together. They'd leave us staring at strangers who look like the people we love and feeling nothing. The nightmare isn't that everyone looks the same. It's that we'd stop seeing each other at all. And that's what the whole thought experiment reveals. We treat the face like it is the person. It's not. It's the shortcut. The face is how we cheat, how we glance at someone and decide we already know them without doing any of the work. We've been outsourcing getting to know people to a glance, and a glance is a terrible way to know anyone. If every face were the same, you couldn't cheat anymore. You'd have to know people. But knowing people is slow. By voice. By habit, by what they do when no one's watching. You'd have to ask questions and wait for answers because there'd be no shortcut to skip straight to an opinion. And maybe that's the reason we'd hate this world. Not because we'd lose our own face, because we'd lose the easy way of pretending we know someone. Identity was never in the face. It was always in the mind, in the choices, in the million small things a face can't show. A world of identical faces wouldn't teach us that everyone's the same underneath. It would force us to admit that everyone's different underneath and that knowing the difference takes work we've never wanted to do. So here's the question. If you could push a button and make everyone look the same, no one judged by looks, no one rejected for their face, would you do it? I want to know how many of you would press the button.